You're listening to the podcast where we talk about life, sports, family, and everything in between. Welcome to Just Talking Out Loud with your hosts, Ron and Terry.
Hello and welcome to the show. I'm Ron.
And I'm Terry.
We are happy to be with you as we are broadcasting live. This is after Easter, so this is way after Easter, actually. But I'm kind of ahead of the game a little bit because Terry's going to Florida.
Yeah.
You looking forward to it? You seem like you're looking forward to it.
Yeah, I need to get away.
Hopefully,
get my sinuses
nice.
to clear up.
Yeah.
If I can get in even just some walks on the beach or around the flat, you know how flat it is. If it's 70 degrees and I walk, my sinuses should dry up and I should feel better when I come back. You know?
I don't know if we talked about it or not, but I think, do you feel, because at first you were driving, everybody was driving, but Zachary that's my youngest son. We've had him on the show. I'm hoping we can still do this before the sour cream goes bad, but I don't think we're going to make it.
Oh, if they can do it Thursday night or Friday.
But anyway, well, yeah. Do you think now that you're flying instead of driving, this might make things a little like
my
a nicer
only
vacation?
fear is sleeping through and missing the plane on the way home because it's so early. So because Tampa Airport's bigger, we're going to have to be there 2 hours early, and it's a 5:45 flight. So for 3, that puts 3:45. We have to be there. We have to check the car in and everything before that. So that's going to be, when I'm usually sleeping my best hours, I'm driving around,
Yeah. Well, you said maybe find a hotel.
A hotel closer.
Yeah.
We'll see what we can do.
I think that might be the...
Either that or don't sleep until I get home, like till the airport where they can just say, hey, Mom, our plane, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I can just kind of sack out in the plane or whatever, A
couple things we're going to talk about. Lucky numbers. I'm going to find out what Terry's lucky numbers are. There's a couple things that I was hoping to talk to. Some worse things for your relationship. Some prized possession. Men and women have different things that they think are their prized possessions. But there's a couple things that I saw this morning that kind of changes all that, kind of gets me in a different direction after I see it. So I wanted to ask you, and this is something that I saw this morning and heard on the radio, and they're calling it parking lot Karen. Now, I don't know if you've seen these Karen where they kind of blow up at somebody. Well, this lady was putting her daughter or son, putting a child in the car. And a gentleman was approaching her saying, excuse me. Now, he had been quite a distance away, but she turned around, and in the clip, apparently this is on video, which I don't know how.
You didn't see it on video, though.
I haven't seen it. I've heard it, but apparently this is on a TikTok. Or maybe she was detailing it, saying this is, what she did. It says clip amassed 1.9 million views. And they're calling her hysterical. A lot of people are. But I'm wavering. I want to see your opinion on this. So anyway, So
he was
this
saying,
guy
excuse me, yeah.
Yeah. So in the clip, she's described that she's alone with her son in the parking lot. So it is a son. And a male approached her and said, excuse me, miss. She doesn't know why he was approaching her or what he was trying to do, but she explained that he was probably about 30 feet away when he started saying, excuse me. And
so why didn't she stop and answer him?
Well, without waiting to hear what the man wanted, she decided to make a preemptive move. She turned around and yelled at him and said, do not approach me. And her outburst reportedly caused the stranger to stop, and he went in the other direction. Now, that would have been fine if she would have stopped.
And left it like that.
He left. But apparently she kept going. And at one point, the stranger asked what her problem was because she kept repeating the command, even though he was turning around and leaving. And she said that he had crossed a couple of cars down from her and didn't come from anywhere near her, and and he started cussing at her, but that was after the fact that she started
went after
yelling.
him.
Now, here's the thing that I will say, especially and I want to get your view on this.
Well, if there's other people in the parking lot that heard and watched him, then I wouldn't be alarmed.
No, but I think we are all on heightened.
Yeah,
as
because everything's so...
Everything you just don't know. And I don't have a problem with some of it.
Yeah.
Don't approach me. Because you don't know.
Yeah.
But I think it could have been handled probably a little bit different. When she said, "Do not approach me," and he turned around, that should have been the end of it.
Right.
Really.
Clip your kid in the car, get in the car, and drive away.
To me, if you continue to badger, even though he's...
Left.
Excuse me. He's leaving. Now you're causing more of an issue where this person could really get, because everybody's on this, it seems like, is on this fine line, right?
Yeah.
And if you continue to do that.
I mean, she might have dropped money and he wanted to give it to her.
I was thinking it doesn't, nothing. Now
or her driver's license or her credit card was left on the, thing in the store. I mean, you don't know why. I mean, it could have been something good.
She said he had approached other people, so I don't know if she'd
maybe
seen
he
this.
was looking for money.
Maybe he was asking. I don't know.
Maybe he was homeless or something.
We don't know.
Yeah.
But again, when he turned around and left.
That's the end of it.
Right? You would think. But my thing is, what I wanted to ask you, you're in a parking lot, maybe you have our grandson, someone approaches you. Now, I know you're not going to turn around but I think you would become a little, especially if he got close enough.
To me, yeah.
It would be a little bit, what are you doing? And I think I don't think it's right to, I'm trying to think of the word. I don't want to say she did the wrong thing.
You don't want to ignore him? Is that what you...
No, I'm saying I don't think she did the wrong thing. I think she just did it like the way she started
boldly.
it.
Yeah.
Do not approach me, and it worked. That should have been the end.
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
But when you continue to, and then
badger him.
now you're getting
badgering him.
A reaction, and he's cussing back at you because you won't stop. That's where I think there's the issue there. But
people can't leave things well enough alone.
But yeah, I know. Wouldn't you think that would be a little uncomfortable if you were by yourself with our grandson?
Especially if it's dusk.
Yes. It doesn't say what time of day it was. But I think there are ways to.
I mean, we all have key fobs now too. You can start your car alarm going.
Oh yeah,
he gets close enough. Yeah. You just start your car alarm. He's going to turn and hightail it.
But I also think if you are strong enough,
because that's going to bring any security that's in a store or in the parking lot or around back or anything is going to bring them out.
Right, and I think if you're strong enough to stand up
and say, "Hey, don't approach me."
Right now, he's thinking, okay, she might be pretty tough, or even though you might be putting on. And he might walk away. But I would say to women, young women that are like you said, depending on the parking lot situation, where you're parking, is it dark? Look at your surroundings. That's important too. Make sure you know where you are. Check things out. We know how we get in a hurry. We're always in a hurry. We're not really paying attention. And again, I'm not saying this guy is that type. I don't know or what he was doing, but you got to be on the alert. So I'm not criticizing her in the beginning. I just think that could have been handled
a little bit better
differently in the second part of that. So I just wanted to see what you were thinking. If you're, do you do that? I mean,
not only that, don't irritate people. See, I work with people every day that come in and they're already irritated. Maybe their kid got in trouble at school and they're already irritated when they come in my door. So I'm used to, not irritating people. You know what I mean?
It could work the other way too,
Yeah.
It could work the other way where the person's just trying to get maybe directions or something. And then the person that you are asking gets irritated and you just don't know what that person's going to do.
Yeah.
Maybe they've had a bad day and they've got a firearm and they can say, well, he was approaching the car. Even though he or she
directions. I was hoping. I mean, they have a local license plates. I have an out of state one. I
just feel like times have gotten they're just so uncomfortable.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody's, it's like you don't want to. It's almost like we're stepping on eggshells type thing.
One of the subs is an emergency sub that I talked to today at school, and she was in 6th grade today, and she said these kids that went through the COVID, they have no social skills. Like they lost that 1 year in class, and they don't raise their hands, and they all speak out, and they just 1 year made a big difference. 1 year, whether it was 1st, 2nd, 3rd grade, they didn't get that reiteration from the teacher. No, we raise our hands when we want to speak in that. And so they hit 6th grade now, and they're...
So you got to start all over again.
Yeah. It's like teaching them in the grade school again. And usually the 6th graders were ready for the middle school and the responsibility of changing classes and doing their own work and, keeping their locker and stuff. And a lot of these kids are not. They're not mature enough, and they're not ready because they missed a year of grade school at home sitting in front of a computer. They didn't learn as much.
Right.
So they're behind in their learning, and they're behind in their social skills.
I was going to say the learning part would be, because if you're not, it'd be so easy, right, to look up the answers just online and just kind of get through it.
Type them in. Yeah. I mean, you didn't learn nothing. You just, the book was in front of me. The answer key was over here. Whatever.
You're doing yourself a disservice because
you didn't learn how to actually do the math.
You're not
problem
finding
whatever,
the problem or the whatever you're looking it up. Now, if you're,
and especially if you were at that age where you're learning to write and count and stuff, like if you're just learning your letters and you never learned to write, and some of these kids that come in, I cannot legibly read their name. They can't write on a smaller line. And if it wasn't for me knowing who's late every day, I wouldn't know what that said. I've got quite a few of them like that.
Well, we're not even teaching
writing anymore.
Yeah.
I mean, you cannot legibly read it just looks like chicken scratch scribbles. It looks like my 2-year-old grandson signed them in.
How are you going to sign a check if you can't even,
write
you're not even
your
teaching
name,
it?
and you can't even print your name.
It just seems like I don't know. It seems like we're becoming.
And a lot of them will put their own name. Their first name. Like they'll put Ty down. I don't know if it's Ty, Tyler, Ty, short for something. And they'll go down the hall. And I'm like, what? And I have to figure out who they were by who they said they were going to.
Yeah. I just, not teaching writing. What's it called? Cursive. Well, I don't know why I couldn't think of cursive.
Because they figure everything's done online now.
Are we getting rid of checks then? We don't do checks anymore? We don't write checks?
That reminds me. Did you look at our checkbook?
Oh, no, I forgot.
We got to do that.
Yeah. Terry paid for somebody else's meal. Well, technically you didn't. But Diane said it happened to her.
Did really?
At, I can't remember the restaurant. I want to say Chili's, but I don't. One of those like restaurants that have those kiosks.
And that's what that was.
So Terry had a kiosk on the table. Her and her mom went to lunch. Terry had a nice day. She had a colonoscopy, breakfast, and then lunch. A nice hamburger. She just filled herself right back up. But anyway, she's at Red Robin, and she's, pays the bill or starting to pay the bill, right?
Yeah, and it wouldn't let me put no tip in, and then it came up with the thing to sign, and I was like, but that wasn't my amount, and I don't know if it took the tip or not. She
was tipping, ladies and gentlemen. It wasn't when she wasn't going to tip. She was going to tip cash. So she goes and pays the bill, even though she thinks the bill seems a little high, which it was for 2 burgers and fries. And then they come to find out that wasn't even, it was the wrong
table number.
The kiosk
was on the wrong
table.
The
wrong table. So be careful what she said it happened to them too. But I can't remember what restaurant it was. But I don't like those things.
I mean, we didn't like them. Every time we go in there, we were like, do we have to use that to pay? We would rather.
I don't think you have to.
You go and ring up our 2 meals and we'll give you our card and then we'll put the tip on the table.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of times I like to put the tip on the table. My niece, when she waited tables, she needed that cash to get her through the week, to put gas in her car to get back to work and stuff. A lot of these waitresses are not doing this, they need the cash. And if they have to wait a whole month, some of them have to wait. They only pay out their tips once a month that you pay into them. If you had to wait once a month, then you don't have gas for your car for 2 weeks,
Yeah. So if you have a kiosk on your table, you want to make sure that it belongs to your table and you're not paying somebody else's
bill.
So, but yeah, I'll have to check that. I forgot. So we'll do that. Okay. So, do you think dogs learn words quickly?
I think if the word pertains to them, I think they do. Like walk, outside. Like I know Rigby knows food or kibble. When he smells it, he brings you his dish and he goes clank, clank behind you.
You could be downstairs, and if you ruffle something that sounds like food, you turn around, he's right there.
Yeah.
So I know his hearing's good.
Yes.
Because and it might not even be food.
Thinks it's chips,
but if he thinks it's chips, he's going to be right beside you.
Yeah.
Guaranteed.
If he thinks it's even the dog food bag, he'll be right.
Yeah, it's amazing. Well, they were talking about really smart dogs. They think can learn words quickly, but you have to figure out if your dog is really smart.
Which I believe he is. I mean, if when he's with me, if I say walk, he comes down and sits by this back door.
Yeah, most people think their dog is the smartest dog. I mean, let's be honest. Most people think their canine is the smartest canine on the block. Some owners believe their dog knows every word
that they say.
That they're saying.
Mm-hmm.
And according to a new study, they actually say that could be right. If their pet is brainy enough, researchers in Budapest say talented dogs have the ability to quickly learn new words after hearing them just a couple of times. Why? I mean, I think there's some dog. I don't know any dog doesn't know walk.
Oh, I have to spell it, or he'll go sit by the door.
If he starts to spell, then we're all in trouble.
Yeah, I know.
I mean, we're gonna be doomed.
I mean, because
if you say W-N, he goes
and sits by the door. He'll be sitting there and he'll wag his tail until you come take him.
You're like Scooby-Doo. Are you okay? Going for a walk. A team at this university said that it isn't really the case for most pooches. A lot of dogs takes them a long time. They did these studies.
Ranger at the end couldn't hear, so we didn't have to worry about him.
No, but he knew certain things.
Oh, yeah.
And he still knew. He wasn't the brightest, but he knew some dog. If your dog demonstrates that they know an object after only hearing its name the first time, then you might have a smart dog.
Like his dish. Bring me your dish.
He carries the dish.
Oh, yeah. And he'll bring it and he'll clang it at your feet. If you're cooking and he doesn't want his kibbles in there, he wants what you're cooking, he'll clang it right behind you like, here's my dish. I want what you're cooking, not kibbles.
He clangs it, too. You're not expecting it. It sounds like, bang! What do you call those cymbals?
Yeah.
Boom. And then you're like, what the heck is he doing? But, yeah, he knows his bowl, and he'll carry it around even after you filled it up twice. He'll still want more.
Oh, especially if you're still cooking.
I think most dogs would eat and eat and eat if you just...
Oh, they would eat until they puke all over. Yeah, probably.
I don't want to, do the puke, really. Okay, so smart dogs, for the most part, I think dogs are fairly smart anyway. There's amazing...
Well, look, Anika was annoyed by them. She'd go sit by the gate to go on the runner. To get away from the other ones.
And look how fast. Now, again, it really helps to train a dog to go outside when you have somebody there all the time. Because Mila, the newest one, with Nathan being home.
She's already learned to go outside.
So, it's just been a quick transition. That does help.
Yeah, because he's been on top of her, and every time she ran to the door, and then he probably rewarded her when she peed outside, and she learned, I'm a good girl. I peed outside.
I think the constant, when you know, and then you take them outside, they learn it. Now, I saw this. This is what I wanted to tell you. So there was these little, I don't know, they're like look like cups, but you press the button. Okay, so they were doggy communicators. Tiffany there was 5 of them laying right next to the door, and as you press one said food. So the dog would go over and press one, and it would say, I'm hungry. Or the dog would go over and pick one, and it would say, I want to go outside.
Oh, so I asked, Rigby could drive us nuts because he'd be going, food, food, food.
He says the one dog uses it, but he just presses them all until he gets the one he really wants. He doesn't, sometimes he'll hit the right one first, but sometimes he'll just keep. And there was like 4 or 5 I know there was food, going outside.
We should get them
water.
for Rigby and see how smart he is.
I don't know exactly where she got him, but they were sitting right because Bob asked, and I forgot too. I'm like, what is that? That's sitting on the floor. And then, so I was leaving, and as I was leaving, I hit the one that said, going outside sign. I used it myself.
Well, yeah, because really, I mean, even when I was sick, he'd come to my head and touch his nose or lick me in the face to let me know, hey, Grandma, I need something. And I would get up and put him outside. And then sometimes I'd look and hear his water would be empty too. And I would do it all while I was up and go back to bed. But he does let me know when he needs something.
I think it would be funny to have those, right? And, you're just sitting around, say you're just sitting watching a TV show, and all of a sudden you hear, like,
I'm
a click,
hungry.
I'm hungry.
He would be, I'm hungry all the time.
It's the dog. Or, I want to go outside. That would be pretty wild. I mean, but you could do it. I'm sure you could.
Oh, I'm sure he would. I would like to see if he learned that because I think he's smart. He can open doors and he can open cupboards and stuff. So I think if you had, like, the right words there that he already knows. Like if you had one that said walk, he'd be hitting that.
Oh, I think there was one.
That.
There might have been
I want to walk.
There might have been. There was 5 of them, so it might have been one of them.
Instead of just going outside walking.
Can you imagine if there was one for treat? He learned that.
You remember Ranger? Whenever he got older and he was almost deaf and blind, but when Nathan was in college and he'd come home from college, he would bark at him and he started giving him a treat every time he barked at him. So he had to put the milk bones by his bed because the dog would just keep barking because he knew he got a treat. So he just kept barking at him all night. He goes, that's the only way I could sleep. I'd have to give him pieces of milk bone all night when he barks at me.
He would bark and you'd hear, shut up, roof, roof, shut up, roof, roof, shut up. And then we'd say, well, give him a treat. And he said, I did. That's the
problem. That was the problem.
Yeah,
then he wanted, every time he barked, he wanted a treat.
Oh, that dog. And then he'd sit up on his hind legs. And he
could sit there for a long time.
He could do it forever. It's just if you know what a Pekingese and you see him sitting on their hind leg, his little tiny legs.
I say sitting pretty.
Sit
pretty, I would say. And he'd sit like that for a long time.
Terri, exercising, okay? There's something that we haven't done as much as we would like to.
I've been sick.
You haven't been feeling good. Our timing, trying to get, we like to beat the crowd, so we try to get out of here early. What do you think of this? Now, this is a prototype. They're thinking about now you like leggings. You wear leggings when you exercise. They want to, they have a pair of smart sports leggings that will tell you when it's time to take a break from your workout. So in the fabric itself, there's like these little electrodes.
It might never tell me to take a break because I walk and I don't do real heavy workouts. Like I don't lift so that my muscles are hurting.
Well, but you walk and sometimes you run on the treadmill, and it might say, hey, because it says it developed, these researchers at ETH Zurich have developed an electronic yarn, so it's in the fabric, capable of precisely measuring how a person's body moves. And it's integrated directly into the sportswear, the clothing. And then it will tell you your exhaustion level. And I don't know if it's hooked up to your smartphone. So it's an app that you probably have near you, and it would probably alert you. You know how the opposite, like your watch would say, you need to move. Are you dead?
Yeah.
Because you haven't moved in like
an hour
maybe. So I wanted to see what you thought about, they tested these leggings, athletic leggings. And all you got to do is glance at your smartphone, and you're able to see your limit and when it should take a break. It would actually tell you. Is this something that you would be interested in if you...
I don't know.
It depends on the price.
I just go until I'm tired and,
Yeah, I don't know if you really need to have somebody
and I
tell
don't
you.
know if I would spend $100 on them,
Well, I'm sure they're not going to be cheap. There's nothing cheap anyway. So I wanted to see what you thought about
especially
leggings.
When you have your iWatch and it counts your steps and this and that.
That's true. We've got
so many other electric things. I don't know if I'd spend the money on those.
Even your phone will tell you, give your heart rate.
Right. I mean, there's so much out there now to help you. So,
do you really need a pair of leggings on?
But some people would go for it. I think those that are avid exercise probably would.
You You probably have to wear underwear with them because you might get electrocuted or something. If it, you sweat too much down there.
Yeah. Or
if you got a little sweat in the crotch
have
area.
a little leakage. You sneeze and have a little leakage. And
I think it's time to stop.
I'm
sparking.
sizzling.
You're sparking over there. We're going to finish up with lucky numbers, and then we'll go into something else. The worst thing for your relationship. But do you have a lucky number? Is there a number that you kind of... I know we were playing lottery, but we did birthdays. That's not really a lucky number. And scientists were, I guess they were trying to figure out why people cling to lucky numbers. Like special game day clothing or rituals, so that
I think when I pay the lottery, I play the same numbers because I figure they got to hit sooner or later.
Yeah, there's people that have done that probably for the last 20 years.
And then,
you would think they'd hit something.
Yeah. I mean, if, 4 out of 5 or 5 out of 6 hit, you get something, a pretty nice size,
I would think. I
just
don't have
$1,000 or $2,000. I mean, as much as we play, that's a big payoff,
Oh, yeah, we don't play enough.
Yeah. But I've seen people, like when the little 7-Eleven was right down the road, I've seen people spend $20 a day on numbers. We've never had the money to do that. I'm like, if I had $20 to spend on the number, I wouldn't be working.
Well, they would go in with a tablet with three digits.
Yeah.
And then they would go through the whole, whatever they did that day, I guess. Now, I will say this. I do remember how it used to say 235.
Mm-hmm.
I have looked for tickets. Like I have this.
Whenever you have the strip tickets and stuff.
So I might look for that number for,
Or like if they all start
close.
with 77235 or 73. Yeah.
My grandmother lived at 6. My dad's mom, 635 or 695, something like that. I can't remember exactly, but she would play that, and sometimes it would come out, her house number. But sometimes I'll see 235.
And that number did come out for me quite a few times when it was my bank
235.
number. And I remember that one of the customers, when I stamped that on his thing, on his receipt, he said, "What's that number?" And that was his change too. And he went down and paid it, and he hit pretty
you didn't
big
play.
for it. Yeah, and he said, "I won on that number." It was the same as his change that day, though.
I wonder how many people are going to, after hearing the numbers we just
said, they're going to go play them. They're going to go play that number
because they just mentioned it. They said the appetite for these beliefs, these rituals, and having a special number is in the brain. It's a circuitry in the brain. And for good reason. The sense of having special powers apparently inspires people in threatening situations and helps soothe everyday fears and ward off mental distress. When they did a survey, 43% said they have a lucky number. So if you had a lucky 1 to 10, do you have a number that you kind of pops in your head as soon as you...
7.
That's the first
number. But that's our middle child's birthday. And our other two are 10 and 13, so they're like...
Yeah, but I don't think... I didn't think of it that way, because 7's always been kind of a number for
3
some reason.
Too.
I don't know why.
Sometimes I like 3.
But I have this meat ticket. I'd love to be able to hit this. Yeah, it's got ribeyes and Delmonico's. And I think it comes out actually on our anniversary.
Oh, nice.
So maybe...
So maybe you should have got a 2-0 because that's our anniversary.
Well, what do you mean?
420, 420.
Oh, I didn't even think of 420. I didn't see that number.
1980.
This is like a 935 or
4.
A 4. Yeah, I know that sounds good.
42084.
Yeah, right. 85.
85.
Yeah, 85. But anyway, well, we're throwing some numbers. People are trying. They're gonna have to rewind to write these down so they can play them. So that's our lucky numbers anyway. Okay, when we come back, we're going to talk about maybe the worst thing for your relationship, and we'll talk about men and women's most prized possessions.
Okay.
All right, we'll be back in just 1 minute. So you want to start a podcast, maybe you're listening to the show today and you're thinking to yourself, boy, that would be fun, and I have a lot of things I want to talk about. Maybe today is the day. Maybe you're looking for a new marketing channel, or you have a message that you'd like to share with the world. Or you just think it would be fun to have a talk show. Now, it is a lot of fun just talking to you your friends. Maybe you have ideas about sports, life, or whatever your passion is. Today's the day. Podcasting is easy, it's inexpensive, and it's a fun way to expand your reach online. And where should you go? Buzzsprout. It's hands down the easiest, and it's the best way to launch, promote, and track your podcast. And your show, believe it or not, can be online and listed in all the major podcast directories in minutes, like Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcast, and you wouldn't believe how many more there are. And they make it simple to join all of them. Podcasting is not hard when you have the right partners, and Buzzsprout is the team to join. They are passionate about your success. You can join over 1,000 podcasters already using Buzzsprout. We're one of them. We've been on Buzzsprout from the beginning, and I'm so glad I joined up. I had a little bit of an issue, emailed a customer service rep, and they got back to me within 5 minutes, and they had me calm down. It wasn't that hard, and what I was doing was my fault. So here's all you got to do. Click on the link in the show notes. It tells Buzzsprout we sent you. You can support our show, and if you get a paid plan, you get a $20 gift certificate from Amazon. Now, here's some other things that Buzzsprout provides. Like, you get a great-looking podcast website. Now, a lot of people think, oh, I got to get a website, got to pay for that. No, you don't. They provide it for you. Also, they have audio players. Maybe you have a website. All you want to do is promote your show on your own website. You can do that with their audio players, and you can also drop it into other websites and on Facebook or Twitter, and they help you do it all. Believe me, Buzzsprout is the way to go. They've helped me immensely, and I've had a lot of fun doing it. So maybe today is a day for you to start your podcast. And if you do, check out the link below in the show notes and get a $20 Amazon gift card. Welcome back to the second part of our show. Thank you so much for staying with us. We really do appreciate those that are listening every. We seem to have a core, and don't forget to share. Right? Don't forget to share us out there.
Share and get us out there.
We're not swingers, but we don't mind you sharing us. We'd appreciate that. Terri, now I wanted to ask. This is another thing that I saw today, and I wanted to see if this is something that bothers you. 1 in 5 adults suffer from this rare condition. And apparently, these people get very angry at the sound of people making noises such as chewing or breathing. Can you imagine? I mean, we all breathe. Now, I guess it could be, you know how I like you to do whenever you call me on the phone? Yeah. Give me some heavy breathing. But no, I mean, if you're just breathing. Now, there are chewing. I mean, some people chew their gum.
When people grind their teeth, like if you grind your teeth when you're sleeping at night.
Yeah, that kind of sound.
Which I do sometimes. That might bother me.
But I'm saying another person. No. Do you know how some people chew like their horses?
Sometimes when you're snoring too loud, it bothers me.
Yeah, some people chew their gum like.
Oh yeah, my mom cracks it.
Cracks the gum.
We used to take it. We used to go to church with her when we were in middle school and stuff. We used to put our hand out for her to spit our gum in her because she was cracking it and like, Mom, you can't sit with us if you're chewing gum.
Now, if you have this where you get angry at someone breathing or chewing, it's called misophonia. It's a condition which hearing others making minor sounds irritates you. So you do have, maybe you have to label everything. Now, people with misophonia have strong negative reactions when hearing sniffling. You talked about grinding, slurping, or yawning. Some people get angry at somebody yawning. They wouldn't have liked me today because I was yawning a lot. Oh, there you go.
I knew you.
Oh, you make me so mad now.
Did you hear my jaw crack?
Yes, I heard it. There's another thing that just makes you mad. Research at the University of Oxford said 18% of the population battle this condition. And the sounds create a fight or flight response. It triggers anger and a desire to escape. So if you have these feelings of misophonia where somebody's breathing or chewing, you might have a problem, especially breathing.
That would be bad if you're on a flight and you have to sit next to someone. They got to breathe.
Yeah, I mean, I mean, that's just breathing.
Especially if it's a stranger.
What kind of a breathe? Do you have one of those breathing? Yeah.
Like you're sighing like they're in your way or something.
Yeah. Before we get to the prized possessions, I was going to ask you, when we were having our first child, was there ever advice you got that you thought was annoying? Because these parents reveal the most annoying advice they were given for raising their kids. And I was trying to think if we had ever given,
or gotten
or had received
annoying
any of these annoying
I
annoying
don't
advice.
think so. I think your grandparents, everyone was so excited because we had RJ young, and your grandparents were still alive to be great-grandparents, and mine in Florida were. And so, I just didn't ever think, I don't think anyone gave us bad advice. I mean, some people say you can spoil them by holding them too much, but everyone said enjoy them while they're little,
Yeah, it's that was even something that Lauren had told us when he was little. You want us to put him down, but she's no, soak it in. And I thought that was really neat because I can understand. We have tried, and I think we've done a great job of whatever. They're new parents, right? Mm-hmm. And yes, we may not understand some of the nuances that have changed. We don't get it, but it's not for us to say this is their child. So we'll try to follow like these sleep sacks. I don't get it, but it's what they do. And you hear stories about kids that our kids had blankets, pillows, those
stuffed
bumpers,
animals. Yeah, they had bumpers.
Animals. Mm-hmm. And you think about today and how that they'd have nothing
in there. Yeah,
no bumpers, just a sleep sack.
Although they'd rather have a blue ruse on their head, I guess.
Yeah, the bumper thing just doesn't.
If you've got a baby that tosses and turns a lot,
yes, and Fenn does move around a lot.
Then you might get a lot of bumps on the head in the crib. You know.
But I was trying to think of some things that maybe did we ever give advice? But what I was getting to is, so we've tried to follow those because, listen, we want to
if they put them in a sleep sack, if the sleep sack's in there, we just put them in the sleep sack.
Right. Because I think it's better to be consistent. We may not get it.
Yeah, but
we're not the ones
consistent with the child.
Yes.
I've always believed you have to have a routine and be consistent with the child.
I agree.
But a lot of people do not raise their kids like to go to bed around the same time every night, to wake up around the same time. And, like my kids got up and, we had PBS and I let them watch Sesame Street during breakfast if they were sitting and eating. If they weren't, the TV went off. I just was consistent in things like that. And they seemed to turn out very stable.
Yeah, they... So, we have tried, and I think we've done it. We've tried to follow whatever we might throw something out there, but for the most part, and for the most part, we're, we want to be supportive.
We try to be
easygoing, supportive. Again, it's two generations. It's trying to, this is just something new, and we're going to have to. Some people aren't like that, though. There are a lot of people that say, no, you shouldn't do this. Well, you should do it that way. And that's not, to me,
I remember when my niece was little, and she was big enough to know better, and she had a bad cough, and my sister-in-law said, well, she won't take her medicine. She'll spit it at you. She put her up on my mom, put her up on the table. She put the medicine in her mouth. She spit it at her, and she popped her right in her lips. She goes, you will swallow the next one, or you're going to get another pop. And she did. She swallowed it. And she goes, that's how you handle that. Either that or you turn her over on her bottom and you smack her bottom till she takes her cough medicine. Because she had a very bad cough and she needed the cough medicine. And she said, well, she won't take it. She'll spit it at you. And so she just quit giving it to her. I'm like, you're going to let her you're going to let her get pneumonia and go to the hospital because you won't discipline her, make her swallow.
Yeah,
she was big enough to know better.
Fenn isn't feeling good again, and we had to give him some medicine last night. And he's not gonna sit there and take it. I mean, he's almost 2. He's thinking, what are you doing, right? Yeah. I mean, RJ did get it. We had to hold him down, but we got it. We got the medicine down him. But again, not giving the medicine isn't the cure either.
No.
So anyway, these are some of the annoying advice that apparently new parents feel like they're getting. One of the ones that I thought was interesting, and it's not on, I don't think it's on the list, so I'm going to read it. They would say you must have a second baby soon, or you're not holding them correctly. Those are some of the.
Well,
telling
you have to
someone
hold their
to have
head up, but to have a second one is their choice. I liked my kids closer together. I think it is good for the siblings to grow up together, but a lot of people choose to spread theirs out every 4 years.
Yeah.
Now, in our case, I thought when we had two in college, it would help them get more like grants and loan and money. It didn't.
No.
It didn't seem to help them. So why, but then 4 years apart, that, they're still going to have the same debt. So I don't,
Well, I think Fenn having his brother or sister
be over 2 years apart.
That's a good,
That's how our two are just a little over 2 years apart. And it did work out very nice. It worked out really nice when they were young and we went on vacation.
Yeah.
Because they had someone to play with all the time.
Well, and the age was very close. So they could ride some things together, depending on the height. But then, of course, Zachary came along a little bit later. But, I think having the 2 years is like you said, it's kind of nice together. Here's some of the most annoying pieces of advice. Number one, sleep when the baby sleeps. That's easier said than done.
Oh, yeah, you might not be tired, or you might be so tired that you're trying to hold your...
Or you're just trying to get the other things done that you haven't been able to get done. Number two, I always used to do this, and my kids turned out fine. Doesn't say what it was, but so it could have been anything. Stop holding babies so much you'll spoil him or her. You said that one. You must have a second baby, as otherwise you are selfish. You or another child will suffer or be spoiled. So they're saying you should have a second baby.
Well, there's all kinds of only children in the world.
But that doesn't,
and sometimes the only children are not as giving as other people. Yeah. Because where you want to go to eat, they always got to pick. Where you want to do this, the only child, the parents usually take their influence and if it sounds good, they go there. I
think it depends on
I think that
upbringing.
Some only children are more into what they want because they always got to pick.
Yeah. I could see that. They do have...
It's like a habit. It's just a habit. It's not... I don't think they purposely are selfish.
Right.
It's just a habit of them just driving to where they want to go because they always had their own way,
Well, I think the other thing, too, is if even if they're an only child, if you surround them with other kids...
Right.
And they learn to share and give and take... then that just takes up that, that takes that void out. Of not having that
like if they have a lot of cousins and stuff like that.
Yeah, that makes a big, especially if you have the play dates type thing. That's important. I think if you are, I don't want to say sheltering them from other kids, then you could have some issues as far as sharing as when they're young, that kind of stuff. So, number 5, you're not holding the baby correctly. That's a tough one. It depends. If the baby's head is all, then you'd have to say, make sure you support the head.
If you think you're going to hurt them, that would be the only way, as if they thought they were going to hurt them. We didn't have to worry about any of that because Fenn was a preemie, and they showed us how to take care of him because he had all these wires on him, and tubes. He had, a feeding tube and a breathing and all kinds of stuff and a heart monitor on him, and he had all these things. So they had to show us how to not get the wires in the diaper when you were changing it. And, it was a whole thing. So
babies should be left to cry it out.
Now, I used to say to you.
I know you did.
That you were going to be walking that kid when he was 10 and his feet were going to be dragging on the floor because I would have probably put him in the crib when I couldn't take it anymore and let him cry a little bit and seen if he went to sleep because RJ was not a sleeper. And if he took a 3-hour nap for your mom and I was working, then he would not go to sleep. And I needed to be in bed by 11 to be to work at 9. And he sometimes was like midnight and he was still wide awake. And I was like, oh, God, what am I going to do? And I might have put him in the bed and let him cry to see if it would work. But you would have went and picked him up.
Well, we're finding it we're trying to be his naps with Fen, where he, we're trying to get it before
a certain
3 o'clock, type thing. Because if it's after, he might sleep a little longer. Although he wasn't feeling good yesterday, so I don't know what time he went to bed, but yeah, I mean, he's they try to keep him around 8:30, something like that. But for the most part, he's it depends on how he's feeling.
But he is a very good sleeper compared to
once
my
he's
kids.
out, he's out pretty good.
But Nathan was my best sleeper, and he slept 8 to 10 hours. Nathan was my best sleeper though, and when he was cranky, you knew he was sleepy.
Yeah. We'll just do 10. But number 7, I don't know this one. You're making a rod for your own back. I don't know what that means.
In other words, you're letting the kid control you, I think.
Don't entertain baby with a screen, TV, iPad, smartphone. Well, that is something that he loves. Elephants. Mm-hmm. And sometimes.
And almost all the kids now are into electronics because they see us on the electronics. Yes. And why wouldn't they want our cell phone? Because they see us on it.
Yeah, I mean, that's just when we're playing with our phones and our tablets and our
so
computers,
they're going to want them.
Natural.
Yeah.
He loves, I can get him, if you want him to take a nap and he's getting tired, if I put on like a Sesame Street or Elephants, he went out yesterday.
He'll lay down and he'll watch it on a phone, an iPad, on anything, and he goes right to sleep.
Do I feel good about it? I don't know, but I don't want him to be stuck on, because he's going to be video games, because RJ's a video game. Mm-hmm. He loves video games.
Oh, RJ was a video game since he was 2. He was playing Mario Brothers and
But we
stuff.
can monitor that and make sure he's outside playing. And
make sure he doesn't play 8 hours a day,
Yep. Number 9, don't let them in your bed with you or they'll never leave.
Well, RJ left and he crawled out of the crib very early, and we were afraid he would either hang himself on the blinds or the curtains, or that he would fall from the top of the crib because he was very small, but he could get his leg all the way up there. And we were afraid he would fall from the top of the crib to the floor. So when he started climbing out, if he started making noise like he was climbing out, we started putting him in our bed because we wanted to know when he was awake and climbing, because he had to climb over one of us. We would feel him, and then we would know he was on the move.
I think that one, too, what do you think about age is important there, too? I think it depends on the age. In other words, if it's really, really young, a 2-year-old, you could probably...
he started climbing out of the crib very early, like 7 months old.
Yeah, he was.
But then when Nathan came along, and I did some bad things with Nathan. Nathan wanted to eat all night, and I was nursing, and I would prop myself up in the twin bed, and I would just let him suck so I could sleep because I was tired. And that was bad, bad things. But as Nathan got bigger and I was weaning him and he was nursing less and less, I then put them in the double bed and they learned to fall. I laid down with them and read them a story and everything, and they learned to fall asleep. I did it consistently at the same time every night.
Final one for this one. I know there's like 40 of them, but final one, top 10. It's just colic. Well, I will tell you that it's never just colic, because colic and having a
colic
son,
baby.
Believe me, it's never just colic.
When the neighbors call you from across the street and they can hear your colic baby, you know that there's something wrong.
Yeah. I mean,
your other kids didn't scream like that.
It is frustrating as all get out.
And it sounds like he didn't cry like, oh, I'm hungry or I pooped my pants. He cried like, I am dying and someone come do something for me now.
And the reason we knew, because when Terry had Zach,
when he came out,
it was 3:00 in the morning, and when he's finally born, he did not stop crying
all that night.
And
my sister called, and she said, "Is that the baby?" And I said, "Yes, he came out like that. And he's still screaming like that." I said, "I don't think he's done. I think maybe they should put him back in."
I begged the nurses to put him back in because there's something. He's missing something
because none of our other ones did that.
Either there's a rattle in there, his stomach still, that he wants, or something. Because I'm telling you, I mean, it was just, oh my gosh.
And he's had stomach problems all his life.
Yeah, ever since.
Mm-hmm.
So those are just some of the annoying things that we might be saying to our children or other people that are having She was saying, just try to just be aware of maybe some of the things. If they ask for advice, that's one thing, but sometimes we don't have to give annoying advice.
Right.
Because it's not just colic.
We had a family support. Ralph used to come over on Sunday and take that baby and let him sleep on, and he'd let us go get a nap or whatever we needed. We had a very good support system. And once he grew out of his colic, he's been a really good, he's the only one I could say didn't really go, I don't remember him going through terrible, terrible twos. I mean, every once in a while he would have a little, but he understood and he walked and talked early like his older brother. But even RJ went through terrible twos before he was 2. And then I remember Nathan would throw, they went through, and I don't remember Zachary really doing that. I think when his stomach quit hurting, he fell asleep and he just left us alone.
Yeah.
We were all on makeup sleep.
Yeah, ain't that the truth? Let's talk about our some of our prized possessions. We'll do men and women. They did this whole study on women's most cherished items and men's.
I think men's a lot of time is their car or their truck.
Well, here, here's the men's. I'll let you do the men's. It's right here down. Okay. And I'll start with the women. Now, you said, that's funny that you said that because car is on there.
Mm-hmm. Third.
And it used to be one of the things I used to do a lot is, because it bugs me that the car's so dirty, but I'm not wasting an hour and a half and it's going to rain tomorrow.
Yeah.
Although it's not supposed to rain tomorrow, but it would if I did it. So women's top possessions, what is your... you do yours, right? And I'll do mine. You can read it off the list, see where it comes in. But what would be we'll just say top 10. We have 20. You got some of mine on your list.
I guess photo albums and
that's number 1.
In pictures.
Family photos, number 1.
Memories. Because they show the memories and the family growing up and stuff. I would say that would be number 1 for me. And the home and the way it's kept up would be up there.
Your home, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want people to come into my home and think, ooh, and it doesn't even have to be like all redecorated all the time. It has to be neat and comfortable.
That's all.
Yeah.
Mine would be home for me. Is right up there. Photos is right up there for me. I love looking, and it really takes you back and finding how fast life goes as far as the kids go. I was going to say wedding ring, but I don't wear a wedding ring because I don't wear jewelry at all. Yeah. I'm just not a jewelry.
And how many have I lost?
2.
3. I lost my first one, my mother's.
I thought it was just 2.
Okay, just
I think
2.
Don't up it to 3. It just sounds really bad.
I know.
I don't think you've lost 3. I think it's 2.
Okay.
Yeah, 1 at a ball field.
Yeah,
you took the glove. We were playing softball, and is there any?
The other one was at in my mom's, which I was wearing my mom's then because I didn't have one, and hers was too tight on her, and I lost that at RJ's graduation party, taking the pop out of the ice.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So family photos for you is 1, 2. That actually is number 1 and 2. Family photos 1. Home is number 2. I'm kind of surprised you didn't mention number 3 because you lost 2 of them. So that's why I was surprised. Yeah,
but I guess
because you lost it. You don't care?
I lost of them. They're not as sentimental as maybe they would have been. I was very heartbroken when I lost my mother's. Especially when I lost my mother's, because that was something my dad bought, and it was white gold, and it was from the armory from when he was in the service. So I was quite upset when I lost my mother's. I was more upset over my mother's because it was more sentimental to me than my first one. Even though my first one I was upset, we did go back with a metal detector trying to find it. I mean, we did try to find it. And your family was just troopers when I lost my mom's. They went through the garbage and everything, making sure that it didn't show up, that it wasn't there.
So wedding ring was 3 for women's. Engagement ring was 4.
Mine are hooked together.
Yeah, yes, I was just going to say. You lost them both, yeah. Number 5, again, for women, I was surprised you didn't mention this because this is you on my list for family.
Oh, it's on 6 here, probably family pet.
Yes. I'm surprised you didn't
Which
mention
that
a
goes
pet.
with pet. That goes with photos. We had
No,
our little ranger was a sweetheart.
No, but I'm saying if your possession would be, if he was still alive, would be a
if
pet.
he would, yeah, but I don't have one right now, so I guess that's why I didn't.
And again, photos of deceased relatives. Well, photos and family photos, this kind of goes
the
together.
same
I'm
thing,
not sure
yeah.
why. And jewelry.
And the same thing with a pet. Our pet is deceased, so photos of him. When I go through the album, say, "Oh, look how cute he was. Look, he didn't have any gray hair around his face then." You know, and I do enjoy all my grand dogs.
You do. No, you do.
I mean, I play with all of them when I see them.
Yep.
I like animals.
This is not up there for you. Smartphone, even though it's number 9.
No. Mm-mm.
I can't read that upside down. What's that
Childhood pictures.
Again, why? There's a lot of pictures. I mean, it's the same.
and they're the same thing. Memories, photographs of deceased friends.
And then you have laptop. So for men, like I said, I like the home is up there. The family photos,
books, clothes.
I'm not into. I don't read. Which was really bad. Wedding ring. I do have my wedding ring.
Parents' wedding ring. See, and that was
I don't wear it.
Number 20 on the women's.
I don't cherish my laptop. I really don't. Now I used to really when I was young. I really got into my 45s, which I still have.
Yeah,
45 records.
You used to really be into your sports teams too.
Used to really be into sports teams. That's true.
I don't see that on.
I don't see it on there unless it's on another. Oh, here's the rest of them. This is be the men's.
I would think men's
television.
would have more sports.
I do like my
sports
TV.
Time. I would think more men would have a sports team up in there.
Yeah, but you possess
because the ones that do follow a team, they follow it tightly, and they'll go all the way across the country to get tickets to see them. You know what I mean?
Because it says possessions, maybe more of a jersey.
Yeah.
Then because it's a possession
a piece
itself.
Of clothing, yeah.
But none of these things, like on mine, I do like pictures. I like looking at pictures. Television, I love my TV. I watch too much TV, but I don't really. I'm not. It's not like a prize. I mean, I don't want to see it go down. I don't want to see it break. Now, I will say that I will say this. There's
a lot of things I feel that I could live without if they were gone. Yeah. Like if a lot of things went bad and we had to give up things, there are a lot of things I think I could give up. I've
always had this love affair with anything that has to do with radio. Mm-hmm. You know, when I started my radio station, which is FM 7 The Drive, on Live 365, by the way, classic rock, if you'd like to give it a listen. It was just something I've always wanted to do. I grew up, and my poor brother, I'd have a pretend microphone. My dad made me a stand, and I had my record player when I bought when I was cutting grass, and I'd buy all the latest 45s. At that time, it was top 40 I was into. It wasn't more classic rock. Now it's kind of classic rock, sort of. But I love anything and it's sad because it's like we're doing this podcast on a wonderful piece of equipment that just makes my life so much easier. It really does.
Right.
And we're able to put RJ or Zach, or RJ and Lauren when they were on the show, or Zach and Sarah, we'll put them all together, and it all goes in, and I'm able to edit the stuff. It's real quick. I love this type of technology. It's very expensive. It's not cheap. Microphones, I love these microphones here aren't very expensive, but they have a great sound.
Yeah.
And I think
you did a lot of investigating before you.
It took me a long time to even get the name of the show. Mm-hmm. You and I went through
because they were taken.
Because we wanted to, frankly, we wanted to do something with our last name. Franklin. That was already Frankly. Taken. Mm-hmm. It's just it's something to go off our name. And it took me a long time and then I just finally said, you know what? Let's just do it. Let's just do it and I think maybe I'm being I'm trying to think. I don't know. My words are maybe I'm being like I feel like our sound is better than I've listened
lot
to
of them
podcasts.
Because
and I'm not trying to because I have done a lot of research. I've done a lot of.
Are you too confident in it, huh?
No, I would. I mean, there's times that it doesn't. Lately, though, now that we've done this with I don't have to bleed into your microphone. I don't have to worry about it.
I was trying to think if there was some place that we could put this up and just, you know what I mean? And
where it is right now.
Well.
Anyway, but it has
if
made
we would
things,
have to move it.
It has made things so much easier for me because I'm not getting that. But anyway, so I have this. My possessions would be the certain things that I have bought
for your radio
for the station.
It's
made things. Yeah, it's. I really love that high tech type stuff. Anyway, that's some of my prized possession. But obviously, photos. I love looking at photos. Or you know what else? Jeff would make all those videos.
Oh yeah, he made videos
put them
of
on
all
CD.
the kids. Yeah.
Those are great to watch, and it's
just they're hilarious.
Oh, it takes you back because I started thinking that we never watched our kids because they were always at my mom's house. Did we ever watch our kids?
She would call me every Thursday I know at least every other Thursday when it was your payday and say, "Hey, do you have errands to do? I'll watch the kids. Bring them on over." Well, you know how much that helped. You've been to the grocery store with me on Saturday morning. If you don't have to haul 2 kids to the grocery store, you can get through there a lot faster, you know.
There's less goodies in there,
and
too.
Because
although not necessarily, because it depends on
something out.
If I ate or not. It really matters.
Yeah, it does matter if you ate breakfast before you go. Yeah.
All right, that's it for us. Don't forget to subscribe and share us. Every Monday. We
didn't even get into relationship.
No, we did. Oh, that's right. I forgot about that. We'll have to do that
next time. We'll start with that next time.
Okay. Yeah, the bad thing for... I didn't do that, did I? I didn't touch on that.
Okay.
So we'll do that next time. Don't forget to subscribe. Every Monday we come out with a new episode. And then don't forget to share us. Oh, by the way, we are going to start asking questions on Spotify. So you can actually go to Spotify on our podcast page. And there's a question, how do you like the show? You can write. We should do some polls. Like think of something that people could, you know.
Well, like this one, what's your pride possession?
Yeah.
We could put that one.
Yeah, we could do that one. So then we could talk about the next week. So Spotify has a way of you talking to us. If you'd like to do that, it's so great. We're still working on the YouTube thing. We're hoping to get that going here shortly. But don't forget to share us. Don't forget to subscribe. Every Monday we have a new episode. I know I keep repeating myself, but share. Share us like you just never shared us before. And then we can follow us on Facebook or Twitter, just Talking Out Loud. It's TALKIN. You know, so that's a little bit different than the other one because there is actually another Talking
Out Loud.
Yeah, which I didn't know. It's very similar. And Facebook or Twitter. You can also contact us at Gmail, justtalkingoutloud@gmail.com. And I think we've covered everything. So thank you so much. Have a blessed... we're out.
Okay, have a blessed week.
Thank you for listening. We hope you enjoyed today's show.